Good evening, and thank you for joining us. We are going to begin with that breaking news. The first vaccine for coronavirus here in the U.S. has just been approved by an FDA advisory panel. All of it guaranteeing it will receive emergency approval by the FDA, possibly within hours. Now, that decision will immediately set off a frantic nationwide operation by FedEx and UPS to get nearly 3 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine to hospitals and drugstores and to get shots into the arms of vulnerable Americans. Tonight's vote comes at the darkest and deadliest point in the pandemic right here in the U.S. Over the past 24 hours, more than 3,000 deaths from the virus have been reported across the country. Think about it. 3,000 American lives lost in a single day. That is larger than the death toll on 9/11. Even more unimaginable, tonight the head of the CDC says we should expect that many deaths in the U.S. every single day for the next 3 months. As we come on the air, new cases are being reported at record levels, with several major cities, including San Francisco, within weeks of running out of ICU beds, and with the virus seemingly spreading faster than ever. Tonight, Pennsylvania's governor has begun locking down his state, banning indoor dining and limiting gatherings. So we've got a lot of new reporting for you and your family, and our team is covering it all. CBS's Nikki Batiste is going to lead off our coverage tonight with that breaking news on the vaccine. Good evening, Nikki.
Nora, as soon as the FDA authorizes Pfizer's vaccine, here at Mount Sinai, they're expecting thousands of doses. Some of them will be kept right here in this freezer around negative 80 degrees Celsius and will be given to frontline workers here in the ER and ICU as early as Monday.
But also no data.
The FDA's advisory panel overwhelmingly voted to recommend Pfizer's vaccine. The first doses in the U.S. could start shipping out tomorrow.
We've been working very closely with our state and local partners to make sure that they have plans in place to identify providers that are able to receive, store, and use the vaccines.
Shipping giants UPS and FedEx will work to distribute the vaccine. UPS began sending these vaccine kits last night, which arrived at some hospitals today, containing syringes, masks, and a diluting agent for the Pfizer vaccine, which will be used to administer it.
The vaccines in phase 1A will go to hospitals for healthcare workers.
It will be up to state officials like Pennsylvania's Health Secretary, Dr. Rachel Levine, to get the initial nearly 6 million doses into people's arms.
What are the challenges states across the country are facing when it comes to distribution?
Well, I wouldn't call it a logistical nightmare. I would call it a significant logistical challenge. For instance, we don't exactly know how much vaccine we're going to get potentially next week.
Clinical trials show the Pfizer vaccine was nearly 95% effective for adults 18 to 64. It was just as effective for people of all ethnicities. But some groups, like people with weak immune systems, individuals with severe allergic reactions, and pregnant women, who were all excluded from the trials, could be restricted from getting the shot.
I'm personally optimistic.
Dr. David Rice, who served as a critical care air transport doctor deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan, has been working in the intensive care units at UPMC's Pasavan Hospital for the last 8 months. He is considered high priority for a vaccine and hopes to receive one of the first doses.
I'm excited to get this ball rolling and finally get something going that's going to potentially put an end to this.
U.S. Marshals will escort the vaccines to their distribution hubs. The FDA's Vaccine Advisory Committee will meet again next week to review Moderna's vaccine. Moderna plans to distribute 18 million doses by the end of the year. Nora?
Nikki Batiste near one of those freezers. Thank you, Nikki.